Hey, what's up? We're in the next part. I'm busy talking over here about witches and their chandeliers and the fast that I'm entering into. Usually my fasts are a month long at a minimum, so I tend to look at the date, like today's the 22nd of October. I will therefore stop fasting on the 22nd of November. So I will just keep looking at the date that way. And on the day after the 22nd, so basically the 23rd, will be when I go back to eating regularly again. It's going to be hard initially, but the reason why I also stopped fasting, especially considering I wanted to go back to exercise, was because there was a time when I was trying to go back to exercise during a time when I was fasting, and I was so weak. In my workouts. I was struggling to regain the energy. I had already lost so much stamina. Now there's all the speech lagging. What in the world? I'd already lost so much stamina because of just being sedentary, period. But then trying to go back and regain your energy at the height that it was, given that you know what you can do, given that you know what height you can get, what height of fitness you can get to because of having gotten there in the past. Pushing yourself is hard. I wasn't the first time trainer. I wasn't training my body for the first time. And so I knew what I could do. And it was very frustrating that I couldn't push myself to certain places. And I understood that it was a combination of being unfit now, but also hungry. I was weak and I was actually shaking, a good 20 minutes. After one set, and for me a set is a song. After one set, I would be so feeling like I'm fainting, wanting to stop, holding onto a table on some, what's going on? And then looking at my hands and realizing that they're shaking. And I realized that it's because I have no food in my body. So when then I stopped my fast and I put food in my body, and then only a couple of hours later working out, I realized there was a massive difference in my stamina. So it was not entirely because I was unfit. So that's when I was like, hey, I'm not going to fast anymore because it's going to mess with my fitness. But the Bible says physical training is of some value, but you must build up your spirit more than anything. And I need to build my spirit. And without fasting, I can't do that. I also need to war. Oh, Satan. Lama demon that everybody keeps sending me. I gotta bust a cap in the knee of some of them. I gotta cuss them out. I feel like they've been lodging, like product buildup in your hair after leaving a protective style in for 3 months and thinking that you're gonna have an easy time detangling after that. These demons currently have been lodging around, getting sent to me by some pretty prolific witches, these devil worshippers, and they're like product buildup. And it's about time I take down this protective style. And it is about time I smash that protective style with apple cider vinegar. It is about time I sit down and detangle for hours, even though it would have only taken me 20 minutes per, section. If at all I had not allowed my hair to mat like that, which by the way is something I really need to do this time around as well. I'm not going to let my hair mat again like the way that it was recently, because I love my hair and how it's growing and I can't keep messing with it like that. So now 1 month is too long. I'm going to make sure that I bring down my protective style faster than before so we don't deal with issues, because look at how beautifully and how darling this hair is growing. But with that analogy, indeed, truthfully so. 1 minute. Ooh, yeah, okay, I was letting the cat out. The product build-up / demon build-up in my ecosystem is lofty. I've been feeling it. I've been recalcitrant, rebellious, and till I've been disillusioned, against God because of my sorrow and the lack of answered prayer. What I imagine is that. And I've not been fasting, but now I feel like I've been given a motivation to fast over and above just the spiritual benefits of it. And it's the fact that I want to get thin. I want to lose weight. And so it's a combination of intermittent fasting for the purpose of losing weight and of busting a cap in the knees of some demons. But I need to make sure that I've got energy during exercise, because I did make an observation that when I had, if I had not eaten, because I would work out without eating. I would work out just in that state, in that fasted state. I used to do that in the beginning stages of my sorrow. Work out with no food in my stomach, even take a grandpa for a headache and have no food, I'd coffee in my body. And I would exercise for hours and I wouldn't feel necessarily weak. But during that season, I had gotten my body used to that. And I don't want to ever get back to that season where I'm just training my body without exercise. That's the equivalent of some eating disorder, frankly. And also, my muscle development during that time was lackluster. I worked out for years and I was going nowhere in terms of toning. and I realized it was because of a lack of nutrition. But I was not barely eating during that season out of choice. Just let's put that out there. It was kind of imposed on me because I barely had any food anyway. Yeah, that's why I lost weight. I stopped making money. My life has sucked. Let's just put that out there. I never imagined in my life I would ever have a food insecurity as a problem. But my family put me in a position to be one of those people who, there was a time in my life when I did not know where my next meal is coming from. I can't believe that that's even my story. But it is. Alright, moving on. So, ever since really concentrating and focusing on my development in terms of fitness, I have studied what it takes to build muscle, what it takes to get the shape you want, to truly lose weight, to really give yourself a boost in terms of your body, period, to a point even of growing your hair like my hair is currently growing, you guys, to a point of making your hair look like that. I started to concentrate. Like, the food I eat is a bolster for everything inside me. My whole body is healthy, including my hair. My skin, well, that has not appeared to respond appropriately to my interventions of reducing inflammation. But now it's clearing because we've got some other things that are happening for the skin. The speech lag. I can't deal with the speech lag, but it's cool. Anyway, whatever, y'all. So because I noticed that I was losing stamina, and I was shaking after exercising during my fasts, I decided not to fast, but now I'm back to fasting. But I gotta make sure I have energy for my 8:30 workout. So this is now my plan. My fast is a 6 to 6. With my fast, I usually eat only once a day. That would be dinner. And so I would break my fast at whatever time I have dinner, but I would be allowed to eat essentially from 6 p.m. Alright, so I've made a decision that I'm going to basically stock my body up from 6 p.m. fruit. A few, maybe like 4 or 5 portions. Not 4 or 5, goodness, that's quite a bit. Let's say 3.5 portions of fruit, including banana. Because that's really it. It's high in energy. Alright, when I was back in the day when I wanted to get fit, but it didn't work out because I was lazy and the World Cup happened, I had seen a dietitian that told me that if I want to work out first thing in the morning, like early before you go to work, like at 5 a.m, be at the gym or whatever, if you don't have an appetite to eat yet because it hasn't been very long since you had dinner, have 2 bananas and you're good to go. So I remember what the dietitian told me, that 2 bananas will be enough to keep you going if you have an early morning workout, because you haven't expanded energy yet, you've just come out of sleeping. But it is not wise, I guess, to have like a whole full day where you're thriving and you're exhausted and you're pushing paper at work, and then you go in the gym on just 2 bananas, you'll faint, type thing. So given that I will have been fasting the whole day, I've made a decision that I will have a banana and maybe 3 other fruit, like, I don't know, an apple, a peach, some gooseberries. Did I say that? I proper just say that. I wanted to say blueberries. Alright, I will have that about 2 hours before exercising. 2 hours, alright, and see how that energy boost happens. During the day, I can have liquids, so I have my coffee, and I also have my, what do you call this thing? That drink, that shot of mine, that I will have, and I will use that for energy during the day. But then at 6 p.m, just as the clock strikes 6, I will have a banana, I will have 3 other fruits, and I will let those hang out in my body, chill, do what they need to do for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then at 8:30 I will work out, and hopefully it'll be enough. Because at the end of the day, it's pointless to call it fasting if at all I haven't actually cut down food. So I have to take out some meal out of this whole thing, and the meal that I will be taking out is my oatmeal, the muesli. However, I will still be having all of my portions of fruit, and I will also be having all of my dinner. After exercise, I will then of course have dinner. So we'll see how that goes. I hope that I won't be weak, like feel or whatever. I hope I won't be feeling funny, but that's what I'm gonna do, and hopefully it's going to help me, shed some weight. Hopefully this month, from the 22nd of October to the 22nd of November, it's gonna get me looking nice and thin. And then when we get to breaking the fast, I'll go back to eating what it is that I was eating. But, I'll be careful to monitor if at all I'm regaining the weight back. Because remember, on the current diet that I am on with the exercise, I am losing weight, but ever so gradually. I'm losing it slowly at a pace I don't appreciate. So if I fast track my weight loss and then go back to eating exactly the same way that I'm eating, I should be able to maintain my weight instead of gain it, because I am currently losing weight, just not as fast, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so my body should be okay. There's a certain size I want to be, and you will know that size when you see it. And it has to come faster now, because frankly, I'm tired of looking at myself shrinking at this pace of a snail. It's bad enough everything else in my life is moving so slowly. Like my YouTube channel is going nowhere. My Facebook page is going nowhere. I've been shadow banned everywhere. Allow me, therefore, then, where it is that I can have 100% control over my progress, control it. Like, I proper want to lose weight faster. I am sick and tired of being plateau. And that whole weight loss, taking care of my body, eating well, and also, you know, employing interventions on my face, for crying out loud, is in order to maintain my youthful splendor, my glory, my beauty, my gorgeous mane of hair, all that jazz, because I cannot afford to fall apart. Why? Because why should I fall apart when it is rather the prerogative of God to cause my enemies to fall apart? A table is being prepared for me in the presence of my enemies. People who are doing this to me, standing back watching a woman lose everything. I can't now also lose my figure. I can't now also lose my hair. I can't now also lose my skin. And I almost lost my skin thanks to living in this hard knock, unventilated shack. My pores were yawning, making me look kind of strange, something I don't quite understand nor appreciate when I look at it in the mirror. And I was crying about my pores for a couple of months until I went online and studied and found out that I need to get in touch with vitamin C and retinol. And the results are frankly like the work of science fiction. I can't believe it, my pores closed, because there are so many people on the internet talking about how it is that you can't reduce the size of your pores. Nothing can do that. I beg to differ. My pores have shrunk back down to the way that they looked when I was just a teenager. Because of retinol and vitamin C. And now I've got a doctor. I told you guys that story the other day. Go check out my videos of old if you're intrigued by such content as that, where I was talking about how it is that this cough, this flu that I've been on, caused my mother to make me go to the doctor, following which the doctor, instead of giving me a GP consult, gave me a dermatological consult. He was a general practitioner that gave me the counsel of a dermatologist and ended up prescribing tretinoin to me. So over and above this firehouse retinol and vitamin C, I'm about to put down the retinol as soon as I can afford to buy that tretinoin gel and replace it with tretinoin. And everybody knows that tretinoin is the gold standard when it comes to anti-aging, and it's the thing that gives you glass skin and it sucks in your pores. If retinol did this for me, then tretinoin should be doing a much better job even than retinol. I've got the prescription, I just do not have yet the actual physical product, because my mom told me, you'll buy it with that little 500 rands that I give you every month. The prescription was $500. I was like, can you be more miserly? I won't buy that tretinoin at the end of the month, because if I buy it, I won't be able to get everything else that I need. And there are other things I need. So I'm going to have to basically save to get tretinoin in 2 or 3 months, where I will literally be putting aside 100 rand or 150 rand every month, so that eventually, maybe by December, that's how I live. I'll be able to get my prescription tretinoin from the Dischem. By then, by the time I go on tretinoin, my acne should have faded. My acne has faded. That doctor prescribed it for acne, but I'm looking at it for anti-aging. By the time I get on tretinoin, I will have this here will have faded. My hyperpigmentation. I know that that's a thing. Why? Because that silly cream, I thought it was silly. I had underestimated it, but please give credit where it's due. Give credit where it's due. Go look at my content from 3, 4, 5 days ago and see how much worse my skin was. My hyperpigmentation is fading really fast. The product is so good that it slays many other products in the market. Salicylic acid has never done this for me. Neither has what else claims to be there's like some product at, what do you call this, some acne scar cream, oxy scar cream from Dischem that has glycolic acid in it. I don't know how much percentage of it, and it did not fade my dark spots this fast. It faded them, but not like this. Not like this. I will, once this thing has done the miraculous work that it's doing on my face, only once it's finished doing it, I will tell you what that product is, because you will be shocked out of your minds. It is one of those El Cheapos that you buy on, like, I can't really call it the black market. It's like some Chinatown thing. I made sure it has no hydroquinone in it or mercury, all of these like banned substances that can make you get ochronosis or whatever, because you know I'm that girl that studied. I did read the ingredients list, and it doesn't have anything destructive, right? It is legal therefore in the country to be sold, all that jazz, because certain things, hydroquinone is illegal in South Africa. I don't even know if you can get it via prescription, but it's definitely illegal. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, no, it doesn't have any such thing in it. So how good it is, for how cheap it is, and how entry level low market it is, how you will never find this at Discam and you will never find a celebrity endorsing this is shocking, frankly, for how well it's working on my face. I am currently peeling around here, my lips, they're dry, like very dry. I've had to add an extra layer of moisture on my face because of how this thing worked so quickly, because it is like sloughing away at the surface like skin to reveal new skin underneath. So my face over the past 3 days has been kind of tight, but it's getting looser and looser, because the more I wash it, the more the dead skin falls off, and the more revealed, what is revealed underneath is pretty much all this. I mean, guys, like, look at this. Like my hyperpigmentation was so bad that when I was working out my exercise videos, upon looking at myself from a distance in my exercise videos, I could see like a gray patch here from all the acne that was here that died, and now there's just this like these dark spots. But from a distance, I just looked gray in this area, gray, just gray, from in one of my fitness. And look at that very area that looked just gray around here. It's basically faded. It's gone now. It's gone. So if I can see the difference from a distance and up close in just a few days on a person that usually struggles to see differences on her own body, own face, it's quite good. But I'll tell you what it is when I'm completely faded, so you can believe, because it's cheap. It's like 65 rands, and it has done miracles. It has cleared both acne, and it's also removing my hyperpigmentation. I am also taking Blemmy Metix Yako Discam. The combination is inward and outwardly, and it's clearing my acne. So I did not need help to clear acne from a dermatologist, it appears, but I certainly do need help with anti-aging to solidify my sorrow with a product. And since I'm living in this hot, heavy hard knock environment that is literally making war with my pores, trying to open them again because it's always so hot, and so they always want to just yawn. The tretinoin should go a long way. Already vitamin C and retinol is doing a big job, but once I go on the tretinoin, I'm going to ditch the retinol and I'm going to replace it with the tretinoin, but I will stick with the vitamin C in the mornings, and that should like maintain me even further, maybe even end up giving me glass skin. That's what's good. Yeah, so I mean, praise God, the Lord has given me countering forces, factors. Newton's law of motion says that an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted on by another force. My pores were starting to yawn very soon. My face would have started to sag. I would have started to see maybe visible fine lines and wrinkles and all that jazz, and I intervened like real quick and furious, and I acted on that force with another force. I resisted it, but now I'm about to resist it with an even stronger resistor, which is the gold standard on anti-aging. Because where am I going? Exactly, nowhere. So I gotta also physically, outwardly look like a person that's not moving, am I? Nah, me. I gotta turn back the hands of time like R. Kelly proper. I gotta make sure that all the signs of nastiness on my face, all of this hyperpigmentation, anything at all that could mess with the thickness of my hair, the growth of my hair, anything that is trying to hint to a person that I'm old, having nothing to do with, like, nothing to show for it, that's gotta fly out the window. We don't want no cellulite, we don't want no fat, we don't want no bodolanje, big boobs like that properly are just there because I'm so fat, and not so much because I want to be like Pamela Anderson. Anna, I'm not interested. I don't have children. I have not given anybody a baby. I am not married. I cannot therefore look like I've seen life. Do you understand? I can't look like I've seen life, given that I actually haven't. other than the life of demons. People have just sent me rulers, principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places, authorities. And frankly, they're not going to take away my skin. They're not going to take away the health of my body. They're not going to take away my slender frame. They're not going to take away my energy levels. They're not going to take away my teeth. No, guys, it's not going to happen. I refuse to age. Do you understand? Until I have something to show for it. I already spoke about that. I absolutely refuse to age at the speed of lightning until I have got something to show for it. Give me a child, then I'll let myself get a gray hair. Give me a child, then maybe I'll let my boobs, I'll go buy a bigger bra size. But right now, I'm going to lose weight until all my bras. I am not going to let this Kodwa Izan keep coming, keep bashing into me like a bull looking at a red cloth, hoping to devour the living daylights out of me. I will fight you. I'm going back to fasting so as to lose weight quickly alongside slay more demons than what I already am incurred under. We're not doing this. All of these attacks, yes, like it, guys, like the past 2 weeks, the 2 weeks where I've been sedentary, chilling, trying to recover from an illness, the nightmares, opportunism, capitalism, trying to squeeze yourself into an ecosystem that does not make sense. I've learned lessons, and I know from those lessons that I have learned that I'm not about to go and accommodate anything that does not make sense for me. I gotta maintain my mindset like what it was back before I lost everything. Now, there was a time when I was starting to fall apart, but then God Almighty rescued me from a wicked decision that I was about to make with a bad man. But the mindset I used to have back then, there were certain kinds of guys that when I looked at them, I knew that's not for me. Whatever it is that was a lifestyle choice, I knew upon looking at it that that's not for me. There were certain kinds of homes I would not live in because that's not for me. There were certain kinds of clothes I wouldn't wear because that's not for me. There were certain kinds of people I wouldn't hang out with because that's not for me. Why? Because I had made out of myself a certain kind of person that should not be frequenting certain places and being with certain people. And people expect that because I'm suffering, I'm in squalor, and I'm persecuted. I now gotta take some substandard random coming into my ecosystem because it sees what value there is in me, but underestimated and unappreciated. Just because my family does not care about my future doesn't mean I don't. And just because my friends could not care less to keep me in their lives doesn't mean that nobody ever will think that way about me inevitably into the future. Indefinitely into the future. So I gotta maintain a certain mindset. The Bible says you must demolish arguments and every lofty pretension that exalts itself above the Most High and hold into captivity every thought to the obedience of Jesus Christ. And that's what I'm gonna do. There is this woman on YouTube whose channel I found some years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, during the time when I was studying hair, okay? Because there was a time when my hair, it had plateaued. It was just so slow. It was stagnant. It wasn't going anywhere. And I wanted to find out how in the world to get my hair to where it used to be. And I therefore studied a lot of hair content creators online, 4C natural hair ladies. And I found this one particular lady, a Black American lady, and her hair was like chilling proper hair. Okay, it was chilling on her waist. After it was blow dried out, it was stretched out, but it wasn't silk pressed out, so it wasn't as long as it could be. If she had stretched it out further, it might have even gotten just underneath her buttock, but it was like chilling hair, and it had the texture of hair that my hair is when it's blown out, right? When my hair, I've had 4C hair long ago before, and I know what my hair looks like when it's blown out. I haven't blown it out ever since entering into persecution because I lost it. It kept breaking. I didn't know how to take care of it, so there came a time when I taught myself how to take care of my hair by checking out a whole bunch of YouTube content creators, right? So I do know what my hair looks like when it's blown out. And this lady had blown her hair was blown out. She was giving hair care tips, and her hair was chilling on her waist here, and it was big, it was bushy. And that woman, when I looked at her hair, my heart was sinking on some goodness, I'll never get there. How in the world does anybody grow so much hair as a Black woman? How does it even happen? Maybe it's because she's in America and the climate there is different, and so it's helping their hair grow. I'm in South Africa. We all know how Black girls up in this monster, their hair don't grow. So it is what it is. But it would be nice if I could get there, but it's highly unlikely. And the Lord said to me, how do you think that you're not going to get to that hair when your texture looks exactly like that woman's? It's just that you've never seen that length. You've never seen that length. And I was like, okay, God, that's all I said. And ever since watching that woman's channel and basically seeing that beautiful hair that she was talking about, God has brought her as a vision to the forefront of my mind so many times to show me that my hair is gonna get there. That my hair is going to get to a point where after blowing it out, it is chilling on my waist. And if I were to stretch it out even further. It might even be underneath my butt. How? And that's just one woman, yeah, that I saw. There's also another girl. Now her name I definitely remember, because she's quite big on YouTube. Kelsey Eugenia, yeah, that's chilling on her, after blowing her hair out, it's chilling maybe like on her shoulder there, but then when she stretches it out, it also goes to like perhaps her buttock or something, right? It's really ridiculously big right now and long. The Lord has shown me my hair looking like that of Eugenia's and that other lady whose content I was watching, and her hair, I was looking at it on some wow, how I wish I had hair like that. We have the same texture of hair upon it being blown out, and God has basically promised me that my hair is gonna get there. It's gonna get there, meaning that the Lord has a future for me. He said to, is it Jeremiah? It is, right? That I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. He told Jeremiah that before, in your mother's womb, I called you. Before you were born, I called you. I foreordained you. I predestinated you for a job. And you're gonna go and right ahead and do it. That even though you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that are stubborn coming up against you, I'm gonna make you strong. And you are going to do ABC. That future that has been foreordained and foreplanned, God knows it full well. It's also written in Psalm 139, right? Or is it 135? It's 139. Fearfully and wonderfully made. That passage is my favorite psalm in the Bible. It is written that before any of the days of our lives come to pass, the Lord knows them full well. He knits us together in our mother's wombs. There is not a single day that progresses that God does not know. So the fact that God keeps giving me visions of where I'm going in certain facets of my body, of my life, of what I'm doing, evidences that He has planned a future for me. He has shown me my hair getting to this way, like my length, He has shown me my body. There is this woman that I follow currently on YouTube. Forgot her name, but I know I follow her. I think it's a Latina lady, also living in the US. She does calisthenics, right? That's what it's called. Like when you use your own body weight to build your body. Yeah, she's gotten really good at calisthenics. She used to be kind of chubby. Like I was low-key chubby just after getting out of my 5-year relationship. And she made a decision that she's going to take care of her weight. But I mean, her chubby was loftier even than the chubby that I was. She was, okay, I can't call myself chubby. I can't say that I was chubby, but I was bigger than what I'm used to because I've always been a skinny girl. Do you understand? But that girl was big. She had big girl, like if you see her on the street, you say the chubby girl type thing. And she started from being chubby to being a trainer in calisthenics. A trainer. In and of herself, she's a trainer. She teaches people, she takes classes. She has gotten that strong. There was a time when I never used to believe that I could ever build any admirable strength in my body because of my natural body shape. That girl also had a bit of a pudgy thing going, like soft muscles. Naturally, you don't have, there are people who will tell you should probably join the gym because if you lifted weights, if you did ABC, you would look really good because you can tell that from their natural physiology, from their genetics, they could look really good if they actually took it to the gym. But then there are others who just look pudgy out here in these streets. There's nothing to write home about. Genetically, they have not been very gifted. And you underestimate what in the world they could do. That girl was like that. And that's how I am as well. Naturally, I leave a lot to be desired in terms of my tone. My body does not naturally tone very fast. It takes me forever and a day. I am not very strong. Even my arms, like I'm struggling right now. I want to get my arms to a point where they're toned, but I don't work my arms out when I exercise, by the way, because I'm always standing. I'm restricted, I'm limited, but I have bought weights and I'm lazy to use them. Stuff like that. But I do want to get to a point where I've toned my arms. I've basically lean muscle. Okay, I've toned my arms. I have really toned my legs, my calves, all that jazz, to a point where I could feasibly look like somebody that would be in a position to train fitness instead of being the trainee. And this woman that does calisthenics from the US was like me, kind of flabby, nothing to write home about. Not the kind of person that a gym buff would motivate to go to the gym because she looks like she could be really toned if she started working out. But then she decided one day that she's going to discipline herself and start. And now today she's a trainer. And the Lord has given me a promise personally that if I push my fitness, I'm going to get to a point where I'm like that woman. And in particular, the one that does calisthenics. Because I have a thing about my own body weight instead of using weights. I Lazy for weights. I bought a 10 kilogram kettlebell and I still haven't used it. I'm lazy for weights. And so the day's gonna arrive when I have toned my body using my own body weight. Just like with calisthenics. I don't even know what in the world that's gonna look like. But I have seen my legs get really strong because I use them a lot in dancing, right? I've seen how strong I get in just a short space of time. And so if I can apply the same effort on my upper body, how much better is the whole physique going to look? I can't let myself go. I won't. Because I have nothing. I have nothing except for this thing. This is all I have. All I have is my mind. All I have is my beauty. All I have is my body. And right now, everything else of mine is disrespected. YouTube is trying to pretend like I'm not worth a while to get taken up, my content. People are trying to act like I'm not worth a while to listen to. People are trying to pretend. Men are trying to act like I'm not worthy of pursuit as a woman. Women are trying to act like, frankly, I had this coming and I'm fussy. And for me, it's like, as in, I might not have your support. I might not have your respect. But what I've got is my own determination. I've got my own body. I've got my face. I've got my own very beautiful hair. And I've got my own style. And what I am going to do of doing things, I've got my own method of doing things. And what I'm going to do is train my body until people cannot deny that I'm good at what I do. Because I've toned so well and I've lost so much weight. What I'm going to do is grow my hair until it's chilling by my waist, so that everybody that's trying to pretend like I'm wasting time cannot speak such a blasphemy as that against the God of the universe and actually get away with it. Let there be evidence for what I speak on the rooftops, so that people cannot come and accuse me of that which is false. Things like wasting time. Let me tone my upper body and my lower body, so that no one in the fitness industry can ever underestimate me. And let me keep my skin looking so beautiful with barely any money, on no budget, that anybody at all that thinks I cannot even do skincare content and give women advice as to how to stay young in your 40s, how to look like you're in your 20s in your 40s. People who are going to claim that I can't do that and so therefore run a successful YouTube channel unto that end is naive, because I will have prospered with no money, nothing to write home about, nowhere to go, no respect, and nobody regarding me as anything worth the while to look at. I will have grown hair up to my waist. I will have kept my skin looking like that of a 25-year-old. I will have kept my body looking like that of a 25-year-old. And I will have done that in conditions that are setting me up for failure. Living in a shack that is so hot that I am like a baker, constantly in the climate of a hot oven. And so my pores ought to be yawning. I should be sinking. I should be sagging. I should be aging. But I'm not. I've got so much stress around me, have no job, no money, nowhere to go, nowhere to look, that frankly I should be popping gray hairs by now. And yet look at how jet black my hair is. I should be fat and sedentary and feeling sorry for myself, and yet look at how toned my physique is. Look at how slender I am. And any man or woman walking out here in these streets that would ever encounter me at the mall, or encounter me at the bank, or encounter me on the street would never ever imagine that I am a 39-year-old woman going on 40. That's what I am gunning for. And I'm gonna work on it, and I'm gonna keep uploading my content. I'm going to upload my content on my fitness page. I'm going to upload the shorts that are not getting viewed on my fitness page. I am going to upload my long form content on my ministry and be ignored. Nonetheless, it be clear that this is a travesty. I am going to push and push and push. I will speak with the wisdom that God gives me, so as to evidence to people that I'm not some dumb woman that has had all of this unemployment and sorrow coming. I am going to push like no man's business until it becomes clear that I am unjustly treated, and that anybody that is still trying to act as if though I ain't got nothing to write home about, they're naive. They're naive. I am viable, and I'm glad to the Lord that He's kept me looking healthy. I love my hair. I love my hair like no man's business. I am besotted with my hair. I am beside myself with love for my hair. And every time when I look at my bad skin, I am comforted by how beautiful my hair is. And after my skin clears, every time I look at my slow muscle development, I will be comforted by how much my skin has cleared when I thought I could never get rid of all of that acne. And once I'm on tretinoin, I will also be comforted by the fact that look at my glass skin, I look better than I did when I was 25. I'm not letting myself go. And even though people have let me go, I'm not letting me go. because I belong to Jesus, and I will demolish arguments and every lofty pretension that tries to exalt itself above the Most High, and hold into captivity every thought to the obedience of Jesus Christ. I will hold on to the King of the universe, and this King of the universe will keep me comforted in letting me know that I know the plans that I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. Yes, we're in the end of days, but I did let you guys know that before we go home in the rapture, from what God told me, I'm gonna get my apartment. So I don't know how much longer we're gonna be here for, but in order for me to get to a point where my hair is waist length, in order for me to get to a point where I'm so toned that I'm basically training now, instead of in and of myself being a trainee. If I get there, we're looking at 2 years, 3, 4 maybe. And if we're still gonna be here with me starting my 40s out, I gotta take care of myself. I cannot let myself go. And I also gotta fast again, because some demons only come out with fasting and praying. And I cannot allow all of this demonic attack to thrive without me doing something about it. Also, looking at the world, global events, I recognize that yes, we are in the end of days, but I also recognize that we're not that at the end, because much is a very strong word, but there is Bible prophecy that has not yet been fulfilled, that frankly I feel has to be fulfilled before the rapture can happen, or at least we have to be at a place where it can be feasibly foreseen how the rapture can happen any minute now. And for me, the Psalm 83 war, or is it Psalm 81, it is Gog and Magog, Damascus being turned into a ruinous heap. Things still need to happen. So yes, it's true, some speculate it could happen at the beginning of the tribulation or shortly after the rapture has happened. But I imagine that some of those things have to happen and then the rapture. Like with Damascus being turned into a ruinous heap, I feel as if though that's gotta happen before the rapture. So because these things haven't happened, I know we're at the end because they're starting to happen. Recently, Israel threatened to lay Lebanon waste. Gaza, it has been prophesied in God's word to be converted into a wasteland. Like, be uninhabited, like, because it's what is this, historical Philistia. It's one day going to be just desolate. It's there. Gaza has been prophesied to one day end up desolate. Do you understand? With nobody living there. We are there. But you see, it's happening. The fact that it's happening is evidencing that Bible prophecy is unfolding much faster than we ever anticipated. But there are certain things that haven't happened, so we should leave leg room in our hearts as Christians for another 5 years. Like minimum, because how long did it take? Last year we were saying the rapture is happening, but this year it looks like Bible prophecy that predicted that Gaza is going to be desolate is happening now after this ground invasion by Israel. Who knows where this is going to go? Who knows how multi-front this war is going to be? And who knows what Israel is going to have to do in order to basically win against Hamas? It might have to lay Gaza waste, and that is going to require us to sit back and wait to watch those things happening. We still need to wait for Damascus to be turned into a ruinous heap. We still need to wait for Vladimir Putin to not be so on the fence with Israel, because right now he is duplicitous. He's obviously standing with Iran, but he also has not 100% dished Israel. So he's in no position to be Gog, but he is being cajoled and maneuvered and, massaged into that space. So since he has not yet 100% turned his back against Israel, not yet, it hasn't happened, not fully. Otherwise, those, is it Hezbollah? And also those Shia militias in Lebanon and Syria, they would have already just ransacked. But it is because of the staying hand of Vladimir Putin or Russia that they have not gone in full force yet. So there is still some towards Israel. On top of that, America has not yet been laid so waste that it cannot be there for Israel. So yes, we're at the end, and it's great to encourage ourselves by saying the rapture could happen any minute now, but we have to be realistic upon looking at Bible prophecy. And from what the Lord is showing me, I am better off looking forward to a future, even though it's not a very long future, than the rapture happening just tomorrow. Yesterday I was watching a video on YouTube, the channel of which is, some rabbi in South Africa. I forgot the name, Rabbi Goldstein or something, Warren Goldstein. Yeah, he delivered a speech after Cyril Ramaphosa made those heinous claims on the rooftops about standing with Palestine and ANC, blah blah, standing with Palestine, or Hamas essentially. And the turnout was so lofty. There were so many people there, basically standing in solidarity with Israel in a country whose head of state has stood with the enemy. And it made me wake up for the first time, even though my tears are heavy with South African ridiculousness, to understand that, yeah, Garabo, it's bad, but there are 7,000 others that have not knelt to bail. There was a strong turnout. The whole rainbow nation was there. Black people, Indian people, white people. So many people went to stand in solidarity with Israel, saying, we are not the ANC. We are not our government. We are individual South Africans that recognize the terrors done against Israel by Hamas for what they are, and we do not stand with Palestine. We are independent in our mindsets. Tom Hughes, upon commenting on the war in Israel, I was reading one of the the comments. I was reading one of the sections of the comments of some of the videos of his that I watched, and there were so many South Africans being like, I stand with Israel from South Africa, and I was creasing my forehead on some, really? And here it is that I'm thinking that I'm the only one. And just this afternoon, when I was coming back from the house after washing my face, I heard that Fleury and Kimang, you Kimang, I forgot, man. It's a secular song, but it can be converted into a gospel song any minute now. It goes, you are not alone. I am here the whole time singing you a song. Ooh, I will carry you. Ooh, I will carry you. Is anybody out there? I heard that song just going on a loop. God telling me, you're not alone. You're not the only one that's got these sentiments. You're not the only one that feels this way, Garabo. And you're not the only one that is disillusioned by the state of your country, by how ridiculous things are right now, everything that's falling apart. You are not alone. I am here the whole time singing you a song. Ooh. So upon realizing that things are not so far gone, that my country would be that uninhabitable, that I would never ever get embraced, that the sentiments I have, I will ever get people sitting on the corners, creasing their foreheads. And some what is this one saying? What nonsense is this one speaking? Yeah, that's been my general suspicion, my belief, that South Africans will all just, they're so far gone and so lukewarm, that they would all just look at me on some, that every last one of them would be standing with Palestine and Hamas instead of, and so therefore really like death to South Africa. Like just bury yourself in the ground and hibernate and never come back up for air again because uyahlanya. Yeah, I've been feeling that way. But then the Lord has been telling me there are 7,000 others that have not knelt to bail. There are 7,000 others that have not knelt to bail. That video got 257,000 views or something. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. I guess I am not alone. I am here the whole time. But you see, that was a rabbi. I wonder what Christians are saying in South Africa. The church, the body of Christ. Anyway, whatever. But I was comforted to see all of those colors of people having pitched at that speech, at that meeting, to hear Rabbi Goldstein rapping on about how it is that the ANC is not South Africa. And it comforted me to see all those many people coming in solidarity with Israel. We have not all lost our minds, it appears. We have not all gone bonkers, it appears. And so I guess there's hope. Yeah, I just don't know why I haven't found these people where they're at. I'm in this country and yet they seem so few and far between. It appears they're so detached. Everybody, it just looks like they're so uninterested in what's happening tomorrow in the kingdom of heaven. But, I don't know. That's just the thing about abuse. But I am looking forward to a couple of extra years, guys. As hard as my life is and as much as I might hate it today, the Lord has essentially guaranteed me. And my prophetic gifting is quite poignant, guys. Things come to pass that I see. I am not the final authority, and indeed, precisely because I'm not the final authority, the scriptures also are telling me it's not yet rapture time, even though we're really close. We're getting really close. I feel like maybe a couple of years, I don't even think a decade, but a couple of years definitely, still before then, meaning that we have to give ourselves strength until then. So I gotta grow my hair, I gotta get fit, I gotta make money, I gotta get an apartment, I gotta move out, I gotta strive for what it is that I have been shown I'm going to get. I gotta go and grab my dreams because God showed me they're gonna be given me. And when they get given me, it will be clear on that day that people tried to bury me alive. Why? Because they ruined their own lives. Because you have not loved your own God. Because you have walked away from your Messiah. Because you have not stuck to the truth and have rather taken pleasure in your unrighteousness. God sent you a strong delusion. The Lord made you believe the lie, and now you're trying to get everybody else in this country that is still sober, that has not lost their minds, that has not gone bonkers. You're trying to get them to do exactly what you've done. This nation is drowning because of ancestral worship. It is drowning because of witchcraft. It is drowning because of all these unsavory spiritual practices. It is drowning because of sabotage of corruption. It is drowning because of turning a blind eye to wickedness. But there are people, 7,000 others, that have not knelt to Baal, that are holding fort and making the right speeches, that have got the same cry, that have got a hard cry with passion in it, to speak out against wickedness, saying that not everybody has knelt to Baal. And that's all that matters to me. Watching Rabbi Goldstein address so many South Africans of all different races on the matter in Israel, and them in solidarity being in agreement, allowing themselves to get burnt in the blazing African sun just to listen to the speech, told me all is not lost. All is not lost. And so whatever camp I've been looking at that's full of a band of miscreants is quickly getting outnumbered, and they're about to get blown away by a tsunami. Absent of repenting, the individuals they're in, they will get taken away when the Lord does bring justice to all of us ultimately. And that justice will come before the rapture. I am going to get some kind of a semblance of a normal life. And evidence of that is that the fact that God has preserved me. He has preserved me. So let's praise him for that. Let's do that. The fact that he's given me hope, even in a state of panic. He's given me hope. Yesterday I was crying about hope that is deferred, making my heart sick, lamenting about getting a rapture dream, but waking up to realize it was just a dream, and saying in my heart, but how many people have dreamt about the rapture, and the rapture's still not here, and some of these dreams are years old. I can't just lean on that, and that's always been my mindset. I've always been nervous, scared to hold on to nothing but the prospect of the rapture because it's dangerous. Given especially the Berean and studious nature that I have, I could not reconcile the rapture happening tomorrow with some of the prophecies that have not been fulfilled. While the rapture is an imminent event, I don't believe that the Lord is going to allow for there to be such a thick, long, outstretched season between the rapture and the tribulation commencing that people would have time to basically forget about that event that happened that took people up in the sky. I don't think there's gonna be definitely a season between the rapture and the tribulation starting, but it can't be too long. It cannot be too long, otherwise it's gonna lose its power, its effect, its ability to reach, to evangelize. It's going to lose its power. So there's gotta be a lot more groundwork finished, done essentially before then, guys. But I don't think it's that much longer. I don't think it's that much longer. I don't think we still have another 10 years here. That's what I'm getting at. I don't even think we're gonna get to that agenda ya 2030. Yeah, the UN, blah blah. I don't think we're even gonna get there, but I also don't think it's tomorrow. I don't think it's next year either. It might be year after or the year after that, but it's not tomorrow. I don't think it's tomorrow. It can't be. Damascus needs to be turned into a ruinous heap. Another prophecy that needs to be fulfilled is Elam. What is this? Israel breaking the bow of Elam. That would be Iran. Basically, essentially just kind of neutralizing that Iranian nuclear reactor in the heart of Elam. That's still gotta happen. Is it all gonna happen just after the rapture? Is Israel going to bomb the nuclear reactor after the rapture? Is it going to bomb Damascus, laying it waste as a ruinous heap after the rapture? Is Gaza going to be made desolate, or Philistia, after the rapture? Guys, there's maybe, because the rapture could cause so much chaos that all these things happen all at the same time. I believe, which of course is not the final authority, these beliefs of mine, that what's rather going to happen is that a lot of these things are going to come to pass before the rapture, culminating, I believe, in the war of Gog and Magog after the rapture, shortly after the rapture. Because in order for Israel to end up a land of unwalled villages, it would require a peace treaty. But before a peace treaty before there would be a necessity to embark on such a peace treaty as this, there would have to be so much chaos that it would cause Islam to calm down and agree to have a truce with Israel. The Islamic nations around. There would have to be something alarming, striking, shocking, scary, and too much war, too much desolation, too much hecticness, that eventually all of these parties being war exhausted, just fatigue from calamity, they will finally agree to put their tails between their legs and make peace with Israel. And so that will raise up the Antichrist. And I believe that the thing that's going to cause war fatigue is also the rapture, because it's going to be such a scary, freaky event that's going to also inspire lots of people across the world to go crazy, to lose their minds, to become purgers, They will loot, they will fight. Countries will suddenly drop bombs where bombs were never dropped. The fear inspired in people's bones by this anomalous activity that has happened might cause extra war to happen, and then the fatigue will set in, causing the Antichrist then to make a peace deal in the Middle East. So I do believe the rapture is a catalyst of already brewing tensions. But there's gotta be an already tense atmosphere even before it happens, such that the rapture would cause it to ramp up and get worse. And then people will get fatigued with how calamitized the ecosystem will be. Then there will be a peace deal. Then that peace deal will last for all of 5 seconds before there is a salivating thirst and hunger for the land of Israel by the surrounding nations. Then Gog and Magog will happen. There's gotta be tension enough to throw such hectic bombs all over the show. And those tensions have commenced, but I believe they've got, oh, come on. Ish, this phone, man. Can I really struggle that much? Following which, there will be a need then for the peace treaty to be fostered by this Antichrist guy. That's what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, whatever. Look, I'm done now. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's dangerous for me to wait on the rapture, and just that, waiting for that to happen. And it is also unacceptable for me to therefore let myself go, given that I feel as if though there's still so much future left. I apologize for the speech lag, all of this pausing and whatnot, but I'm already at the end of this video anyway. I'm signing out. So now that you've heard what it is that I said, I hope you've been edified. I hope you're encouraged to walk away from darkness. I hope you're inspired to do a better thing. I hope you are avoidant of hellfire. And if at all you're involved in darkness, my prayer is that you will stop, because it bears no fruit. It yields no fruit. And your victims only end up like Karabo, ever more determined to fix what nonsense it is that you broke apart. It's not worth it to partake in the fruitless deeds of darkness when there are others walking these streets like Karabo who are ever exposing them. This whole thing brought me to a near-death experience, but all that near-death experience did was make me want to live even more. So really, stop with the witchcraft. Stop with nonsense. Stop with evil. Stop thinking rubbish, and stop thinking God doesn't exist. Stop trying to extract Christianity from the face of the earth. Stop trying to prosper to do an evil thing when there is still the common grace of God in operation and the restrainer is still here, because on that day you're going to end up embarrassed. You're going to be humiliated. You're going to be humbled for you try to exalt yourself. Rather just do a better thing and go back home as the prodigal son and allow the Lord remove the wax from out of your ears that you might hear, and put salve on your open wounds that you might get healed from the devil worship that you were engaged in, and allow him to also peel the calluses off your eyes that you might see. Otherwise, you are going to be humiliated violently by the recompense of your victim, and of course, that being your comeuppance. The day in court is never appreciated by the person who is guilty, so rather just avoid it. Now that I'm going back to exercise, my hair is going to get all nappy, my hair is going to get all frizzy, so you're not going to be seeing it tomorrow or the day after, but I enjoyed rocking my natural hair for a season. We're going back to wigs after this. Signing out in Christ's name, Cran K. Peace. Bye.